Meet toddler Charlotte Garside. She wears clothes designed for a newborn baby and weighs less than 7.5 pounds. And yet Charlotte is almost 2 years old.
Hello, you. A lot of people say she looks like a porcelain doll. She just looks very, very delicate.
Charlotte and her family are about to embark on a journey to find out why she is so incredibly small. They'll face the fear of their tiny daughter undergoing surgery.
It's scary, I suppose. First time it being done.
Meet other families who also have children with restricted growth.
Yeah, she's only little, but she's the boss.
And they'll consult medical experts to get their daughter's extremely rare genetic condition diagnosed. Then they will know if Charlotte is likely to live into adulthood or die before the age of 3.
We could be looking at the last birthday that we do for her.
What does the future hold for the tiniest girl in the world? Withensea is a small seaside town just outside Hull in the north of England and is home to an extraordinary toddler. In this quiet street lives Charlotte Garside with her dad Scott, mum Emma and her 3 older sisters, Chloe aged 12, Sabrina 9 and 5-year-old Sophie.
Charlotte will be never taller than me.
I think Charlotte's perfect and I won't change anything about her.
She's probably the tiniest girl in the world.
We don't think that she's going to gain much more weight, to be quite honest. We don't think she's going to grow much more than what she is. Hoping she does, because I don't want her to be as small as what she is for the rest of her life.
Charlotte's extremely small but proportional body is the result of a genetic condition known as primordial dwarfism.
Primordial means that the condition has started early on in the pregnancy, and dwarfism, which means short stature.
See you later.
I'm surprised that my sister has got primordial dwarfism because there's no one else that I know of in my family has got primordial dwarfism.
All right then, I'll see you soon.
Both parents have to be carriers of the primordial dwarfism gene for them to have a child with the condition.
For children like Charlotte, what we predict has happened is that both parents have passed on the changed gene, and so she has 2 changed copies of the gene and no normal copy of the gene, and therefore this has resulted in her having the condition and being so small. So when 2 parents are carriers, it's completely normal to have a normal-sized child or children, and then the child with primordial dwarfism sort of comes down to the blue, really.
Charlotte has been small since birth, weighing less than 2 pounds. That's 3 times lighter than the average newborn baby girl. Now, despite being almost 2, she tips the scales at little more than 7 pounds, the weight she should have been at birth. She's only 22 inches tall, so children her own age, like her playmate Dexter, seem like giants next to her.
She's grown nothing, really. Compared to what you'd expect a normal 2-year-old to measure at the age of 2, she is still newborn size.
And when Charlotte's compared to children even younger, like her 6-month-old cousin Rebecca, the difference is even more noticeable.
I'm going to take this off. Try it on you. What's he doing? It's too big.
Charlotte's just like a living doll. I dressed my sister in my dolly's clothes.
Shopping for a 2-year-old who's only the size of a newborn is difficult for Mum Emma and Grandma Linda.
Life itself is so different from a normal child.
She's in newborn clothes now.
Newborn clothes, which is a milestone for her to have got into newborn clothes because it took her so long to get her out of premature.
That is so cute.
I know. If it was in newborn, it'd probably be all right.
Just look at those.
I know, they'd go lovely together, wouldn't they? Can you imagine what she's going to be like when she's 15 years old and we still have to bring her to mother care and places like that to be able to get her clothes?
You're going to have to learn to sew.
But learning to adapt to Charlotte's size is the least of her family's worries, because as yet, doctors have been unable to pinpoint exactly which condition Charlotte has. This means her future is unknown.
It's very difficult to make a definite diagnosis for a child who appears clinically to have primordial dwarfism. It's quite often the case in genetics that we're not able to make a diagnosis immediately on a newborn baby. Primordial dwarfism is as an umbrella term, and it's got a number of different subcategories, and these different subcategories do have a different life expectancy for the children.
We'll put sockies on.
Charlotte may have a rare form of primordial dwarfism called MOPD type 2. This condition affects approximately 100 children worldwide. Children with type 2 can suffer from brain aneurysms which cause strokes. The only way to detect and then treat the aneurysms is to have regular MRI brain scans.
Because Charlotte's not been diagnosed yet, Charlotte cannot have the MRI scan, purely because she doesn't have a diagnosis. If she's to get a diagnosis of MOPD2, then she can have the MRI scan to detect whether she does have any start of any sort of aneurysms or anything like that.
If Charlotte does have this condition, as long as she has regular MRI scans, there is hope.
So the life expectancy in MOPD2, I think, is perhaps changing a little bit. In the last couple of years, we've made some strides in determining what are associated medical complications and are working to try to fix those problems so that they don't, in fact, take lives away. As time goes on, the life expectancy is going to rise, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people in their 60s and 70s in the future.
But there is a possibility that Charlotte has the rarest and most deadly form of primordial dwarfism, MOPD type 1.
To my knowledge, there are somewhere just under 20 kids with this disorder that have been published in the literature. I've seen 3 children that I'm convinced have this. And essentially all of them have died younger than the age of 3.
You ready?
If Charlotte is diagnosed with type 1, she may have less than 12 months to live.
My fear is that by the time we found out what Charlotte does have, it could be too late.
As Charlotte first approaches her second birthday, getting a diagnosis is becoming more crucial. If she has type 2, she could already be developing potentially fatal brain aneurysms. But if she has type 1, the family will need to prepare themselves for life without the tiniest girl in the world.
It really doesn't bear thinking about, doesn't, the fact that we might not have her.
Exactly.
Charlotte Garside has an undiagnosed form of primordial dwarfism. Age 2, she weighs the same as an average newborn baby. But her size is not the only thing that makes her different from her peers.
Morning, Charlotte. You okay? You're going to do some good work today. Right then, should we get you out?
Developmental delay is seen in some of the children because of their small size, and that may well make it difficult for them to develop at a normal rate.
Charlotte has monthly physiotherapy sessions to help her become more mobile.
Charlotte is still not talking, and she's not walking.
Obviously, we know that Charlotte's a little bit delayed in her milestones, as we would expect her to do, and she's making brilliant improvements, but she's still just lacking her independent standing, and obviously with that will then come her cruising ability along the furniture and her walking, and those are the things that really we're aiming towards, but we know that it's much more realistic to think that Charlotte will do those things as she gets a little bit older.
Charlotte's been different from other children since the day she was conceived. When Mum Emma was pregnant with Charlotte, there was no indication that anything was wrong. But when Emma went into labour, doctors questioned her due date.
This doctor that came to see me, he said to me, he said, "How many weeks are you?" I says, "I'm nearly 36 weeks. And he says, "Are you sure of your dates?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "Well, you're only measuring 24 weeks. Your baby is going to be extremely small, needs special care, so we need to get her out."
Following an emergency caesarean, Charlotte was born weighing just £1 11 ounces.
Now, I was quite upset at the fact that she was so small, because to me, when they said I was going to have a small baby, I expected £3 or £4, because the others have weighed nearly £8 when they've been born, so £3 or £4 small. But £1 11 is minute to what I'd have expected. And then when I did actually see her, it was an emotion that you can never imagine, to have a child that looks so vulnerable and so small as what she did. All you could see was a head.
Charlotte was only 4 weeks premature, but she was the size of a baby born 16 weeks early and was taken to the intensive care unit.
You look at her when she was in her incubator and she just looked all skin and bones. The best way to describe her would be that she looked like a skinned rabbit. Her legs were as thin as your fingers, and she just looked like if you'd picked her up, she would have just snapped in two. She was so small. But I did think that maybe the worst could happen. You know, does it mean that she's not going to live?
But it wasn't just Scott and Emma who were shocked by Charlotte's size. Her 3 older sisters were amazed that at just 10 inches long, Charlotte was the same size as their teddy bears.
In this picture, Charlotte's got that little teddy bear.
It shows me how small she was, because she was just a bit bigger than that. And you would think for a normal baby that she would be so small.
Scott's parents, Rose and Frank, feared the worst when they first saw their tiny grandchild.
I just didn't know whether she was going to survive or not, you know, we're not knowing what she had. You know, at the time, they didn't say it was dwarfism or anything. And when I first seen her just laid there, the shock just sort of like set me back a bit.
While Charlotte's family feared for her life, doctors thought her size was due to a rare genetic condition. Dr. Emma Hobson, a clinical geneticist, was called in to give her expert opinion.
When I first saw Charlotte, I felt that the diagnosis was very likely to be a form of primordial dwarfism. Firstly, because of her tiny size, then because of her appearance. She had quite a prominent nose and little small eyes and a little chin. And these various features, although taken in isolation, are perhaps part of the normal range. When they're put together as the total appearance, her face very much suggested that was going to be the diagnosis.
The automatic reaction was to walk out of the hospital, phone Scott, and I just burst into tears on the phone to Scott. I says, "You better get here now." I says, "They're saying there's something wrong with Charlotte." I didn't want to make it seem real, I suppose. And I didn't want it to be real that there was something wrong with her. I just wanted her to have looked the way that she did because she was just small.
Charlotte spent the first 3 months of her life in hospital, and when she came home, she still weighed little more than 2 pounds.
Charlotte's condition means that, you know, she's genetically predisposed to grow at a slow rate and be a small person.
Like most children with this condition, Charlotte's slow growth was further hindered as she was having difficulty digesting milk, and the trauma of constantly being sick led to her refusing her bottle.
She won't open her mouth for any food. She's got a locked jaw, and she just keeps her jaw locked so you can't open it.
When Charlotte was 4 months old, she was fitted with a nasogastric tube through which a high-calorie, nutritious formula could be fed via her nose directly into her stomach.
Well, the way I eat is I eat through my mouth and it goes down through my throat, but the way my sister eats, it goes straight through her nose.
As a short-term measure, we quite often use in babies the nasogastric tube, but on a longer-term basis, that's not very satisfactory, and it's easier and better for the child if we can directly put the food into the tummy, and that's done through the gastrostomy tube.
Today, Charlotte's in hospital to have her nasogastric feeding tube removed and to have a gastrostomy. This surgical procedure will insert a feeding tube directly into her stomach.
I won't be able to count on my hands how many times she's been in hospital, because she's been in hospital that many times.
Since birth, Charlotte has gained less than 5 pounds, the equivalent of 2 bags of sugar.
Daddy can weigh you.
She is being weighed so that the anaesthetist can calculate how much anaesthetic she will need. Being put under general anaesthetic presents more risks for Charlotte because she's so small.
Okay, patient Ali.
Bit apprehensive. Just want everything to go okay, to make sure nothing initially goes wrong, and that she just gets through it okay, and that there's no problems initially with the operation itself.